So this study tracked different levels of system involvement over a 20-year period among First Nations and non-First Nations parents in Manitoba. What we found was that 1 in 2 First Nations parents had involvement with the system as a parent, and that this was almost 4 times higher among First Nations parents compared to non-First Nations parents. We also found that First Nations parents, that over 1 in 4 had experienced apprehension or removal of their one or more of their children in the study period, and that this was almost 6 times higher among First Nations parents compared to non-First Nations parents. And we also looked at termination of parental rights, or the rate of parents who experienced having a child become a Crown Ward, or 1 or more children become Crown Wards, which is often an outcome that is not focused on in research and data looking at this system. So when we looked at that metric, we found that almost 1 in 10 First Nations parents had experienced the permanent termination of parental rights, or having their child become a Crown Ward. And I think we expect to see inequities in the rates between First Nations and non-First Nations parents based on previously published data. These numbers are incredibly high, showing a wider scale of disruption to families than previously published data. And I think for people who don't live it and see the effects of this system every day, that disruption by this system that we show in the study period of 20 years is wider in scope than many would appreciate, specifically non-Indigenous people in Canada.